All right, thank you, Ms. Uko and Skateman also for joining on the call. That was Little Red Hood, and we're going to be moving over to Janglestorm in just one moment for Garfield Caught in the Act. This game has a dubious history. We'll see if Janglestorm wants to cover exactly why he's speedrunning this crap. But stay tuned. We'll be switching over in just a moment.
All right. Seems like... I'm getting the message that I am indeed live. Hello everyone, welcome to this continuation of this cartoon block, I guess. Or the start of anything. This is Garfield Caught in the Act. My name is Janglestorm, and I'm happy to show this off as my first run of the day. Let's see, let me get back here. It constantly plays demos. Yeah, it's not even Monday. I know, right? And, well, without further ado, let's just launch into it, and I'll talk you through everything happening here. In 3, 2, 1, go. So, welcome to this game, released for the Genesis, also for a couple of other platforms. In this... Oh, wait, sorry, let me reset. I think something went wrong because I want to select a certain difficulty, but I think it defaulted to something. I've never seen that happen before, or did a skip or something, I don't know. We'll just try over again. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, bam. And... Yep, okay, here we go. So, this game, well, we skipped the lore just now, but basically Garfield and Odie are watching TV until the TV set breaks down and they have to fix it. But they only leave a few spare parts and Garfield throws them away, and out of that comes a monster named Glitch, who then zaps Garfield into the TV set, and well, that's where we are right now. You have to play through these movie scenes in order to get out. Starting with this Dracula themed level, and as you can see right away, I'm using both manual attacks and projectiles, which will both be very handy for speed reasons. And in this first part we have to get into certain tombs and climb out of them again by, well, literally pulling these tongues. And yeah, it's gonna happen a few times. Same here as well. Very scary places. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to pull these tongues. It's not really pixel specific or anything. Let's see. This next one has an interesting possible glitch I could do, and I've had it happen exactly once, but if I pull the tongue at a certain moment, I will be able to launch myself out of the tomb, and that will save a couple of seconds. I think every single runner who has done this game has it happened at least once so far, but yeah, it's pretty much frame perfect, I would say. Also, this is a platform that stops way earlier than you think. So, I gotta make sure to jump early. And we're off to fight Count Slopula, in this case. Funny thing was, when I was doing this in a blind race, me and my opponent took like an hour to figure out what to do here. But that was because, you know, of this very specific part, pulling up the blinds to let the light in. It didn't seem like a very obvious visual cue for some reason, so yeah, that took like an hour, and then we got another hour to do the go through the rest of the game, more or less. Try to get as far. But as soon as you know what to do, it's a relatively easy thing to do, really. Also, these bats can make your life somewhat difficult, so I do try to take these out before I try to defeat Slopula, or try to hit Slopula. If I do that too late, I will have to wait a little while before it starts doing that same cycle again. But we are done now, so that's good. In between, we get these commercial breaks where you can collect cookies and get extra lives if needed, but we don't really need them. And it also comes from a really good song named Bitrate Killer. as I call it. Bitrate. Oh well. So in between we go through these sections heading to the next level. They're pretty much linear, so there's not really a way to skip a whole lot of stuff there. Yeah, the bitrate. I know, it's so much static on screen, so you know you have to so you have a certain amount of static or you know pixels coming up anyway. So in the next level, it's a party team level. We start off on a boat. It seems like an auto-scroller, but it is not. If I want to, I can jump off this boat. Problem is, if I do jump off this boat right now, I will take damage from swimming in the water. And it will be a while before I get to the mainland. And as a result, I might want to, I might die pretty quickly. So I might want to wait a little while. So I'm gonna wait until I get here, get some health pickups, and then make it through the water. And what you see me do there is I try to attack at the highest jumping point possible, because that does skip some of the damage taking animation, which is quite convenient in terms of time save. Not a big time save, but when taken together, it's pretty good. Thankfully, this part is not so long in terms of swimming, so that's fine. But this is pretty much where we stay on the boat. Funny thing is, there is a two-assisted run of this that doesn't stay on the boat at all. It also does some really weird tricks to make sure that it doesn't take any damage for quite a while, so that's to some extent not even humanly possible. And also there's a strong current, so even if I would want to jump off board, I would still stay on board. But that's it pretty much for this boat riding section. That there was an extra life. I'm not picking those up for the same reason I'm not picking up hammers or mallets. That is because you get bonus games. I think it was mentioned somewhere in chat just now. But yeah, those cost time, so we don't do those. In the meantime, we get hit by everything, including monkeys, birds, skeletons, whatnot. So this section has some interesting skips if I can get them right. It involves climbing this tree pretty much. So we try to make our way over here. The first one is not so difficult. It's just grabbing that vine and jumping to that higher section. There are two of those. The second one is slightly harder in terms of placement. You really have to get yourself on a certain position in order to get up higher, and that might take a few tries. And also, I'm sometimes trying to not instantly run anywhere, because since I take a lot of damage and the controls tend to be somewhat janky at times, I have the danger that I'm falling down. So as you can see here, and if I fall down, it's like super fast, ridiculously fast. Thankfully not all the way, but it does happen. And if I would be on world record pace, this would basically be a reset, but we're not on world record pace, thankfully. Yeah, the graphics are really good. The funny thing is this game had sprites that were hand-created by Jim Davis himself, so that definitely explains why it looks the way it does. Let's see, can I get this? Come on. It's really difficult to get this sometimes for some reason. Oh well. I'm probably gonna leave that then. It's a skip that I usually get, but after a few tries, but it sometimes is really hard to get apparently. I could try a couple more times, but if it doesn't happen, then I'm just gonna do it the regular way. Let's see if I can... Oh, that was my own fault. Controls, please. La-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. Well, it's nothing compared to the Game Gear, honestly, because there is also a Game Gear version of Caught in the Act, which has similar assets, but it's quite a different game. If you get knocked off... or if you get hit by enemies there, then yeah, that's a different thing altogether. Oh, damn. I wonder if I did save, if I did get to a continue. Oh, I didn't. Maybe I should do that. Oh, wow. What exactly makes this a bad game? Well, the controls are kind of weird, to say the least. Sometimes you miss inputs and stuff, and there's all kinds of things that, you know, you can get used to, but it's not necessarily the most responsive thing ever. We're getting here pretty soon again. Yeah, the first person doing that blind is quite interesting. I remember when they... Okay, I spent too much time here. Let's go this way. It's not even that long anyway, but it's a nice skip if you can get it in the first few tries or so. Too bad I couldn't show it off, but... oh well. Let's continue. Still a few more spots I need to be careful. And then we fall all the way down here. This is where I take a similar approach, you know, or try to take a similar approach if I fall down into the water. Otherwise, you see Garfield taking damage. Right. So it's nice if you can get a ledge grab while also simultaneously hitting the enemy. So here's the boss fight. We have to do 8 hits, if I'm not mistaken. I used to believe that it didn't really matter which way you would throw your projectiles, but it would work anyway. So yeah, it's time for another commercial break and another bitrate kill. Bitrate killer, bitrate killer, bitrate. Anyway, so yeah, I'm also picking up these cups here because it makes me go through these sections faster. And yeah, that brings us to the next stage pretty soon. Also, a funny, interesting difference with the Game Gear version is you also have those electric fields there, but those zap you back to a checkpoint, and in this case they only let you take a little bit of damage, so this is sort of better over here. But you still wind up taking lots of damage here and there. Doing this damage list would probably be quite a task, for sure. For some reason there's this fish down below. Very convenient. And over here is where I do try to throw projectiles as soon as possible in order to defeat these enemies without taking damage myself. Although that's apparently not the easiest thing because the hitboxes tend to be pretty big. Okay, you see that rock over there, so they seem to let you believe that you have to roll it over there, but you can just climb onto this ledge, so I'm not sure why it's here. And hey, we have a waterfall with broccoli and cheese. How's that for a waterfall? Yeah, the level design is... I don't know, it has its moments, but this is one of those games that could definitely be improved in certain ways. There are a couple of levels that were supposed to be in it, but they weren't able to complete it due to time constraints. The game had to be put out and they didn't make it in. A couple of the same type of levels did make it into the Game Gear version and also later on in the PC version. So if you see the PC version, it has an extra level which involves aliens, and some of the other levels would have included, well, an extra addition to the upcoming level, also a Viking themed level which was actually in the Game Gear. There's some video available of it on YouTube if you do look it up, but it's very brief, but it was in the planning. They were gonna do that at some point. Anyway, so now we are at this third boss fight, and all I hope for is that the game doesn't softlock here, because Dino Odie, as you see here, has the tendency very sometimes to jump off screen and never come back, so effectively softlocking the game. And if that happens, then I have to use a password. At least I can start over from the same level again, so I'll try not to softlock. I must say I've been very lucky recently, and then overall, I mean, the chance is not terribly big, I must say, but there's still a chance. So what I hope for with these rocks is that the RNG is somewhat generous, so I can roll it over here and then... Well, I just softlocked the game. Oh god. Sorry about that. We softlocked the game. Of course, that happens in a marathon. Thankfully, I have the password, so I'm just gonna start with that. And that also explains why the time estimate is the way it is. Hang in there, folks. We are gonna get this done. So let's see. Password is... come on, it's John, then Pookie, and then Arlene. There. Well, I'm pretty sure that won't happen again, and otherwise that's gonna be something very unique indeed. It usually doesn't happen twice. So hey, we're in this level, we're a cave cat now. So yeah, that's also Garfield caught in the act. I also speedrun the Game Gear version of this. I did check that out, well, a few months ago, I believe, and it actually starts off at this level, which also looks really different, even though sharing a couple of the assets, and also the boss fight that you just saw is there, but it has a bit of a different approach to it. Yeah, it was definitely rushed, yeah. If you saw what they were planning doing with this, yeah, that would have been probably a bit more fully fleshed out and stuff, but it never really worked out that way. Thankfully, the levels aren't that short, so in this speedrun, even if I would softlock, I can still get myself back to where I was pretty easily. Of course, if this happens in a world record run, then it's gonna be instant reset too, because, you know, where do you go if you have a softlock in a game, right? I'm not sure if the Game Gear version also had the sprites developed by Jim Davis and his team. At least this Genesis version does, and the PC version too, but I'm not sure about the Game Gear version because it was developed by a different team, which also explains the levels looking different. Okay, with that said, we're back. Dino Odie, please don't let me down this time. There's so much more I want to show off. Thing is also to avoid the other rocks, because, you know, it's easy to get damage if you're not careful enough or just try to keep rolling the rocks towards the launching pad or whatever. I don't even know the word for it. Okay, it seems like this is go down G, since I'm still able to deal a hit. Stage shift code is an option. Yeah, I mean, that is possible, I guess, but I don't know. It would be nice if you just... Oh, there we go. We have made it past this point. One softlock, but yeah, what can you do? Yeah, this rated should still be underestimate, so no worries there. Also, you see these orbs, I'm usually trying to avoid those because those slow you down. Oh, I'm not supposed to go over here. It's always funny, usually wind up here and thinking, oh yeah, where am I supposed to go next? Because it's very much a thing of the moment, I guess. I don't know. But they're not terribly long either, so it's there's not a lot to remember about it anyway. The bitrate. Yeah, there's gonna be lots of static, even outside the commercial breaks here and there. Okay, so now we head off into film noir territory. Normally speaking, this is a level where you have to really figure out the way and try outdoors to see where you get to. But as soon as you know the way, it's actually a really short level. So this is where you want going, and then you go... jump please. You go up here. And the only issue is these doves. If you try to jump off these awnings and these doves are above your head and hit you, then you will be knocked down. So that's why I'm a bit careful. Jerkbirds are definitely a thing in this game too. But it seems like I'm fine now. Let's see. Okay. And we're onto the boss. So the thing with this boss is we do wait till it starts throwing bombs, and we want these bombs with colored fuses. We need 8 in total to defeat this boss, and ideally I hope that the boss will give us 4 bombs each round. So this round we already got 4, and hopefully the next one too. Sometimes it tends to throw 3 instead, so then I have to wait another round. That's a funny thing also. You have 2 difficulties. This is played on Kitty difficulty. That not... Oh. I think I just... Yeah, I wasted 1 bomb. My bad. There we go. But yeah, on normal difficulty, as it's called, you have a couple of differences, not necessarily in boss difficulty, but this is a case where things are different, because you have less bombs that are thrown per round, and but those are a couple of other things, like you see the markers indicating where you need to go. Those aren't there in the other difficulty either. Yeah, I guess the probable badness is in, you know, if you play it yourself, you may find out why that is. Also, there was a skip right there. I managed to do that because there's a jump height difference. If I jump straight up, I will jump higher than if I jump sideways for some reason. So thanks to that, I'm capable of... come on, get me up here. So yeah, that's a thing too that I'm sometimes able to use. So now we are at an Egypt-themed level. The Curse of Cleopatra, who is the boss we're going to meet very soon. There's only a couple of things we need to do, so again, it's not a terribly big level. Also, I just missed... I missed a thing. Yeah, I did submit both versions. I did look into the Game Gear version of this, which, yeah, is quite different and, yeah, probably not as visually charming as this is, perhaps. Oh yeah, also, you may have noticed there are burgers and pizzas in this game, but there's no single mention of lasagna. There's no lasagna health pickups you can get or anything. Even though Garfield is very much a lasagna lover, and I found it very interesting. I would say they used all of the lasagna budget on, you know, making this look visually beautiful. Okay, so this boss fight has a very interesting possible time save, which involves a certain time jump, which I'm already activating right now. As soon as I did hit the... Well, you saw me hitting those torches. So now I gotta wait until I'm at that last horizontal line and then jump up here, light the next torch, wait till the pause up high enough around here, light the next torch, and get up here, light this torch. Make sure I don't bounce on the tongue, because otherwise the tongue stops moving. And that way I will still be able to make this jump, and hopefully Yes, right on time. So that's a 20-second time save right there. If I didn't get that, then I would have had to wait until, you know, the paw elevator was all the way down again, and then had to get back up again. That would have been a bit slower. I mean, still not impossible, but... Okay, that's that. And a couple more phases, pretty much including hitting eyes and stuff like that. It's possible to hit these eyes before you get to this phase, but they won't actually take damage. So it isn't until you get here that you can deal the 10 hits that you need to do. And then the last part is here with this serpent snake heads, which I'm gonna hit also 10 times, and then I have to wait a really long time before I can head to the exit, you know, grab the remote. This is gonna take a while, and Garfield is just having the time of his life. World record is just under sub 20. I got that last week, so... But that requires a pretty good execution overall. I cannot allow to make mistakes if I want to get a sub 20, so... Okay, it's time for the last commercial break / bitrate kill. One last time, bitrate killer, bitrate killer. Anyway, yeah, 1953. That's the current time. So we only have to go through here, and then it's time to face off against the monster who did get us in here in the first place. Rip compression. Yup. Okay, seems like still might finish at a decent time, so be ready for lots of projectiles and fireballs and stuff, because yeah, there'll be lots of them. What I need to do here is I gotta flip these panels or these mirrors, and so that whatever fireballs Glitch throws will be thrown back at him through reflection. And I tried to hit off the panels, even though this one was a bit out of reach, but it does speed up things considerably. So we go here. And again, you may have seen me take damage before and fall down really quickly. This is no exception. I mean, it is the final fight, so there I take a little bit of damage because it makes it easier to jump over here. So sometimes damage boosting is not necessarily a bad thing. Still gotta be careful. And also gotta remember to keep my health up, because if you take hits, it might drop down really fast, so it's hard to see that sometimes to think, oh yeah, I'm almost dead. Thankfully, it's pretty generous overall with continues and such, so beating this game is not necessarily difficult. It's just going for faster times that might be a bit trickier here and there. So this is the last couple of panels. I'm gonna make sure to get back up to this platform, head up to this side, and then just wait and see what's happening, because the fire's coming back soon enough. Also gotta make sure to make the jump, because I can still take damage. Anyway, that is the boss fight. It's almost time, so I just have to make the straight jump up, head to this remote, and that's the game. And Garfield's back into his comfy couch, and he found it pretty fun. He said, let's do it again. Nice touch. So yeah, I'm sort of glad I got to show off the soft lock as well. I don't know, that was the thing. Well, it just goes to show what you can get into with this game. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. It was definitely a fun thing to pick up. I'd like to do a couple of shout-outs. First of all, to Liam Piper, who agreed to blind race me on this last year. That was actually aired on this channel too. And also to the Garfield speedrunning community. Also, thank you very much, and thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, it's over to the next run by Garby. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you very soon. So take care.